When we talk about soul fragments, we are talking about a soul injury that has occurred which splits or fragments the soul. That fragment becomes stuck, for lack of a better term, in that specific moment in time. When we experience an abusive event in our childhood, let's say that we experienced an event where our parents caused us to feel emotional pain, either by outward criticism and insult or by neglect, the soul will fragment, and the child who experienced this wound becomes frozen in time at that point. This fragment is no longer capable of growth and expansion. It is literally stuck at this moment in time with all the thoughts, emotions and feelings associated with that injury. Later in life, we will have many more experiences that will cause us to feel this way we felt as a child when this injury occurred. When this happens, we are no longer acting consciously in the present, but rather reacting from the subconscious state of a wounded child in the past. We react without thought to what we are experiencing. Some call this a trigger. Because this fragment is stuck and frozen in our memory, either consciously or subconsciously, it provides an anchor point that keeps us grounded to a specific life path that includes an already determined set of experiences. The AIF would have us live the life path that we have been manipulated to agree with in the BLA. This can also be seen on a collective human soul group scale where traumatic events are generated to create a mass traumatic event that keeps the human soul group anchored to a particular timeline or a probable reality that best matches the direction in which they would have us go. Haven't you heard people discussing topics such as, where were you when John F. Kennedy was shot? Or, do you remember what you were doing on 9/11? These are anchor points, and we are constantly reminded of these events to keep them fresh and keep everyone's anchors in the same place along the lines of time. What happens if we pull up these anchors? What would happen if we were no longer grounded to the life paths that the AIF would have us travel, but were instead free to live our lives where any and every potential that is available to us is probable and achievable? Think about what would happen if the humans on this planet no longer experienced fragmentation and were no longer stuck reliving the same emotional traumas over and over. What if we were free to move in whatever direction best suits our growth and potential? How much fuel do you think they will be able to collect from us? Also, consider that the fuel we give them not only sustains them as life force energy, but this fuel is also used to sustain this frequency trap and recycling system. When it makes sense that no fuel would equal no more system, let's learn how to take back our own energy and keep it within us where it belongs. Imagine what we can create when we are in full possession of all our soul energy. One of the first steps in doing this is to heal these wounds and integrate the fragments of our soul so that we become whole. Please listen to and read from the works of as many knowledgeable people on this topic as you can. There are many ways to do this, and not every method is the perfect model. We have been able to take guidance from several experts in this area, depending on what it is we need to heal at the time, and this is always changing as we progress. Be open and pay attention to what presents itself to you. Often, we have found that the right healing advice comes from the right teacher at just the exact moment we need it. If we had not been paying attention though, we would have missed it. Keep in mind that we need to have as little contact with the toxic people in our lives as possible. Otherwise, we risk repeated soul injury, and it becomes much harder to integrate and heal the wounds. Only when we are much stronger and we have healed to a great degree that we can then safely be in contact with these people without experiencing injury. Narcissists are driven to procure soul energy by creating new injury or provoking existing wounds. There are no exceptions to this. This is the design, and this is out of their control. For them, it's about survival and nothing else. If narcissists have no soul and are simply composed of fragmented soul parts which have been pieced together to form an operational program of sorts, then we can see that all these fragments of which they are composed are our wounds. Their entire being is made of nothing but the wounded parts of other souls whose fragments have been stripped in the BLA. No wonder they are so hard to distinguish from souled humans. They are us in the literal sense, that they are our fears, our anger, our sadness, etc., being used to provoke these same emotions in us time and time again from which to feed. These beings are not whole and complete souls. They can gather no life-sustaining energy from the central fire. Just like the AIF, they are cut off from the rest of the universe and unable to draw energy and replenish themselves. If you can see the dots connecting here, it becomes obvious that our soul fragments, while existing within us, are also cut off from the universe and unable to obtain energy. Therefore, we all tend to act narcissistically at times. It is at these times, when we are reacting from our wounds and stuck in a soul fragment, that we are driven to gather the energy of other humans around us. It is only our core soul that is capable of drawing energy from the central fire of the universe, which is the divine design. The less fragmented we are, the more we will be able to draw in soul-sustaining energy from the universe. And with that energy comes an increase in conscious expansion, insights, potential, and knowledge. We can only get these things when we reconnect with the universe and what exists beyond this limited spectrum of existence. Do you see now why healing is so important? Every time we go into the BLA, we have our fragments stripped off and used to create these beings who will act as conduits or bridges from our soul energy to them. The more we are fragmented, the less of our full soul potential remains time after time again. Some of us have such little soul energy remaining that while not being full-blown narcissists, the soul is no longer strong enough to resist fragmenting further or healing. Not everyone you encounter that exhibits narcissistic traits is a narcissist. Some are just extremely wounded humans who are almost entirely cut off from the universe and surviving solely on human energy at this point. How do we help those humans, and how can we tell the difference? We heal ourselves, and those that can also be healed will be drawn into our personal sphere of experience. We can't do the work for them, but we can show them the way by doing the work on ourselves. When we heal, we stop being grounded in the past. We are living fully in the present, in the now, where all possibilities exist. If we were not confined to a reality that is forced to abide by the concept of linear time, we would know that now is all there is. We would know that now is all there is.